Tommy, a big victory at the Marcusfield this afternoon.
Yeah, we're happy with the result, Jason. Good performance as well. I thought we deserved to win. It was a tight game, but a good side. They played well recently, so I'm delighted with the win.
Do you think the conditions played a part on the way the game played out? Like, it was pretty fine at the start, and then once there was some awful downpour, do you think it impacted on how the players control the ball and everything?
Look, it was tough conditions because it's been so dry for so long and it was very slippy. But I thought both teams. There was no bad tackles, and everyone tried to play football in fairness. And it was a really good bit of quality in the box from us. Really good play by Ben O'Riordan and a quality finish from Enda. So, I thought we managed the game well after that.
It's 11 clean sheets for Jack Barrett tonight. You must be delighted with the season he's had. I spoke to him during the week and said, many people were a bit apprehensive because he'd come in off the back of a season with Shelburne where he had barely played. He's come back in. He's come into first team football again this year, and he's done quite well for himself.
He's done really well. You said it there, 11 clean sheets, but that comes from the whole team as well, and kind of winning at 3, one in the league and 2 in the cup. So that just goes to show the quality we have in the squad. And these are a great group of lads. They work for each other. They work hard when they're defending with each other, and they work hard when they're attacking with each other. So it's a team effort, and Jack would be the first to say that. But yeah, I'm delighted for him. He's a safe pair of hands for us, and as we said, we're delighted with everyone with the defensive discipline.
Fantastic assist from Ben O'Riordan for in the Corn's goal tonight. He's made a huge impact since he came into the side, and even though he probably would have preferred to play in a centre half role, he's done ever so well at right back. Yeah,
he's done really well. Look, Ben's a good player. I was happy to have him. He wasn't really featuring as much as he probably should have, or he felt he should have down the Cobh. And I was delighted to get him. I've always admired Ben. He's a proper defender. And sometimes when people say that they're a bit harsh on really good defenders because they think he mightn't be as technically good, and Ben even says that sometimes himself, but that's not true, and I think he's shown that in the last number of weeks with the goal down in Cork. I think he's technically fine going forward, and he's a good player, and he's good going forward, and he's good supporting play, and he's an athletic boy, and he's got a great attitude, and his personality it fits to our ethos within the club. These are all great bunch of lads that we have here now at the moment, and I'm delighted with every single one of them, and certainly Ben adds to that.
Just to look ahead, you've got Bray Wanderers next Friday, and then you've got a cup quarter final against UCD. I suppose what's your thought about those games? You were always going to be underdogs going into the cup. You've probably got one of the more preferable draws, but it's still going to be a very difficult task against a good young side.
Yeah, a good side. Anyone who goes to Galway and beats them 3-2 are a good side, and obviously they're in the Premier League, Premier Division, and they're a hard slog week in, week out. And they're playing against top class opposition all the time, so they move the ball really well. They like the Marcusfield. It's a good pitch. We just have to be at our best, but we're not worried about UCD at the moment. We have to concentrate on Bray, and Bray are on an upsurge. As we know, they've beat Galway last week and won again tonight, so we can't take anything for granted, and we have to be at our best to beat anyone.
Lastly, Tommy, the game against Maynooth marked your 30th game in the season. Uncovered a bit of a stat that you've the exact same record after 30 games this year as you had after 30 games last year. There's probably a bit of hyperbole about some of the performances at the start, and that maybe you'd gone downhill, but it does kind of show that you're still kind of definitely on par with last season, if not better by now.
I don't know where that was coming from. I don't know how people can. We have the lowest budget in the league. We're fully amateur, and what these boys are doing is they're overachieving, and they continue to overachieve, and we continue to overachieve as a club. Even if we don't get into the playoffs, we're overachieving by a lot. So I think people have to realise that. Obviously, Wexford have done really well this year. And they're on our coattails. So to be keeping such a good side out of the playoffs at this moment in time, because it can easily change, as we know, is a fantastic achievement for us. And to be in around the playoffs with, which, let's be honest about it, is a first division with 3 full-time teams, which I've never heard of. It's unheard of in all my years, so that makes it the toughest division the last 2 years that it has ever been, as long as I can remember. So that's what we're dealing with, and to be in with a shout of the playoffs with 3 first division teams, I've nothing but admiration for this group.